Hey folks. The latest version of the Kingdom of Hyrule seen in Tears of the Kingdom is genuinely breathtaking. The land is recovering slowly, but truly from the effects of the Great Calamity 100 years ago. And despite Ganondorf's attempt to take over, Hyrule will progress and continue to develop. We've seen the emergence of a few new settlements and extensions such as the Lookout Landing and Bolson construction site, along with other smaller projects across the kingdom. And all of this got me thinking, as this kingdom continues to recover and grow, what are some locations that don't currently have some sort of town or village that deserve to have one? All theoretically, hypothetically speaking of course, as this kingdom won't be returning in the next big Zelda game. I'm speaking from an in-game perspective. I love exploring this kingdom time and time again, and I constantly come across locations leaving me in awe at the beauty, many of which I feel have the potential to have a future settlement. As the population recovers bit by bit, it's entirely possible that eventually, in this game, in this world, that Hyrule's population will return to what it once was. Now, I'm going to be a big business boy YouTuber here and say that if you're not already subscribed, but enjoy watching these videos, then be sure to do so. It'd really mean a lot to me. Follow my socials linked below as well to keep up with my banger tweets and average stories. I honestly just love interacting with you guys, so they're all linked below. Let's take a look at places that I, Mr. Hyrule Gamer, believe deserve a town or village in the near future in the Kingdom of Hyrule. The first location or general area that I feel deserves a wee town in the near future is Lake Hylia. Heavily inspired by the Kuko home above the lake in The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, I really love homes and settlements beside water, whether that be riverside, lakeside, canalside, just anything really. I love water flowing through or sitting in nature, and the spectacle of Lake Hylia is just too breathtaking to not think about this. Now, obviously the settlement won't quite work down these edges, as the hills are simply just far too narrow and on a slope for it to really work. My idea for building here would be to create a two-piece Lake Hylia town, two ends of the town on either side of the Great Bridge of Hylia, connecting the town across the lake itself. Obviously we'd have to relocate the Gleeok, which has made the centre of the bridge its home, but I'm sure Link won't mind helping me out there. At the end closer to central Hyrule, I'd have a few homes and shops built along the face of this large rock, 4 or 5 perhaps, as well as additional buildings on top of the rock, which could be accessed by some stairs that need built. On the other side of the path, you could fit in at least a couple more buildings. On the far end of the bridge and other side of Lake Hylia town, you'd find less homes and buildings altogether due to there being less open space. However, I'd still have 1, possibly 2 here, then more dotted at different points up this hill, as well as a sort of hub tower at the top of the hill, a little something for whoever is in charge of running the town and making decisions. I also just think it would be really cool having a taller tower up here with some flags to sort of mark Lake Hylia town on the map. The population could of course be anybody. What I imagine though is a Hylian and Zora majority. We know the Zora have swam down the river from Zora's domain, all the way to Lake Hylia, so it could be a cool opportunity for a lot of Zora to relocate to somewhere a little different. Being a lakeside town, fishing would be a massive part of their life here, fishing for food and to make money. The Hylians would of course also be a big part of this, but the Zora would be much more proficient at actually catching the fish. The only really massive part of this project, which could prove a wee bit tricky, is getting up and down from the actual water. It'd be a huge project to complete, but installing some sort of scaffolding staircase down would be insanely helpful in completing this Lake Hylia town idea. That's what I'm thinking. 2 ends of the town on either side of the bridge, with access to the water on at least 1 end. This next idea might be a little hit or miss, but I actually quite like the idea of a Thyphlo Ruins town. Yes, you heard that right. The ancient Zonai, but Hylian built ruins of North Hyrule would make for a very fascinating settlement, if you ask me. Now, I do want to clarify that although I feel this would be cool in Hyrule, within a video game. I don't necessarily think just building over important ruins is cool in real life, but this is a video game, so let me tell you about my idea for Thyphlo. A mix of history and modernity. This location is extremely significant to Hylian and Zonai history. Thyphlo was created long ago to honour King Raru's sacrifice in sealing and holding down Ganondorf in the ancient past. It was built by the Hylians of this time, but in the Zonai style. They were a huge mystery and massive talking point when the Zonai came into discussion during the days of Breath of the Wild being the new Zelda game. Back then, we had to explore them in complete darkness. In Tears of the Kingdom, they are clear and completely open to explore. I don't think anything big would work well here. I wouldn't want to overshadow the main point of settling here. The history. I wouldn't even necessarily have proper built-up homes like I envisioned for Lake Hylia Town. Rather, large tents. Think similar setups to the stables, but on a slightly smaller scale. There'd be a good few of them, in different shapes and sizes, dotted around the ruins. And it'd form Thyphlo Ruins Town, or Camp Thyphlo Ruins. A research and history fanatic lover's dream, a place to embrace and discover the history of the Zonai in Hyrule. It could even become the new and more expansive base for the Zonai survey team, giving them their own dedicated settlement, right in the heart of their work. Perhaps it would be a come and go sort of settlement, some people coming from afar to learn a bit about history, others living here longer to learn more but also teach those that visit. I imagine Princess Zelda would also be very interested in this project as she is fascinated by the Zonai and Hyrule's history, so you never know. One theoretical day, Hyrule might see Thyphlo Town. Moving to a bit of a different climate, the Hybra mountain range as a whole is genuinely stunning. From the crispy white snowfields to the views from the peak. Oh, and who can forget the Aurora Borealis you can catch in the night sky? Hybra is a dreamland, and there are so many little spots dotted throughout the range which could have a little settlement. As nice and cozy as Selmie's spot at the top is, I think it'd be best if we leave our little spot alone. Rather, I'd build a little cozy village down by the Sternida Basin, beside Lake Kilsie. This is a perfect spot for a little settlement. It happens to be at the end of the shield surfing trail that starts at the very top, up by Selmie's spot. It's quite a scenic thrill, and ending it down here, with a few log cabins fit with warm fires inside, would be so amazing. Not only that, but there is also a hot spring, so Kilsie Village would basically be a nice snowy getaway settlement. Cozy log cabins would be built, there's a relaxing hot spring, and of course a massive shield surfing trail connected right to the spot. Selmie could even be a part of this, as she absolutely loves shield surfing, and could be a guide to get to and from the bottom and top. Getting through the Hybra Mountains isn't the easiest thing to do, but somebody who lives up here and knows them well would fit right into helping with Kilsie Village. I'd also really like to somehow tie in Lake Kilsie. It's a bit dangerous due to its cold temperatures, but just having a little staircase to get down and take a wee boat ride would add to this idea. Perhaps as well as the individual log cabins dotted around the area, there would be a large main log cabin as well, a sort of hub and community building for anybody staying or just passing by. Kilsie Village would be Hyrule's coziest snowy getaway for all to enjoy. And given how close Rito Village is, I'm sure many Rito would probably live and work here as well. A very cool location which very much deserves a settlement of some sort, or a return to being one of some kind, is the Great Plateau. I would absolutely love to see a Plateau town up here. Now that the previously blocked and flooded entrance is cleared up, there is a lot to work with here. For starters, there is a great amount of diversity in the ecosystem and a lot of history in the area. Considering the Great Plateau is the foundation of this kingdom, it'd be rude not to make some sort of effort to repair and rebuild what was once here. The main area of Plateau Town would be built almost as soon as you come up the main entrance. This is where most of the flat land is, and it'd be a lot easier to create a town here, spanning from this side all the way to the woods over here. But I wouldn't stop there. I'd definitely add smaller outskirt sections in the far reaches and corners, especially the unique snow biome. Like seriously, how is it this cold here when the desert's right there? I didn't know. A little section up here would look lovely. A home or two in this far corner would fit nicely. On top of all the homes, shops and whatnot, I'd also make a very active effort to preserve and or restore the important ruins up here. The Temple of Time and its 3 smaller buildings in front are massive pieces of Hyrulean history which is rather unknown to most. Plateau Town would have a very big focus on teaching those who visit and choose to stay and learn about the rich history here. Not quite the last spot on this list, but certainly deserving of being up amongst the last few. Cape Kales is a very beautiful location, a massive cliff looking out onto the Necluda Sea. The sun rises and sets here are on par, if not better, than those you'll find on the Sky Islands high above. Now, I wouldn't cram a town or village into this little spot up here alone, but I would create a very small settlement just down the hill. I'd call it Cape Cal's Lookout. There is a monster camp which would need to be cleared out, but I know people who can deal with that. I'm not thinking anything too big or crazy, just a very small village up here. A few homes and a local general shop at most. But the reason for its existence would mainly be for what I'd build up here, at the actual lookout point. I'd build a lookout point. A wooden platform with railings for safety, something similar to Sanadin Park ruins found beside Satori Mountain, but a little smaller and more simple. Perhaps add a few tables and chairs and this spot would be to die for. Mwah. There isn't really much more to say about this idea, as it's all very focused around the beautiful views this kingdom offers. Last, but certainly not least, my greatest idea of all. Tingle Island Village. Alright, hear me out. This 4-piece island chain off the east coast of Hyrule could be turned into one of the swankiest, fun, and popping settlements Hyrule has ever seen. Made up of Davdi, Knuckle, Ankle, and Tingle Island. Each name is a reference to Tingle and his brothers. My only real notes on this idea are literally the words, funny idea, lol, hee-hoo. But I really do believe there could be something fun here. Just imagine a newly built bright colourful bridge over the islands. Just imagine a newly built bright colourful bridge over to the islands, and a chain of little homes across them all. Tingle themed of course, colour themed by each brother on each island. Awesome minigames dotted across, and of course, somebody dressed up in a Tingle outfit to lead the town. Tingle Island Village would become Hyrule's greatest ever location to ever exist. Do it, Nintendo. I double dog dare you. This is silly. Although this kingdom is very unlikely to return in the next big Zelda game, it's still fun to think about the in-game future of it. All hypothetically speaking, of course. And these are just some places where I think would be cool fits for potential future settlements. What are some ideas of your own? I'd really love to hear what you think would make for a good settlement. Where would you build and set up new communities across Hyrule? Leave a comment down below and let's get planning. A massive thanks goes to all of my amazing channel supporters for helping to make this video possible. If you'd be interested in financially backing the channel as well as getting some cool goodies for doing so, then check out my supporting links below. My social media pages are also linked below if you'd like to see my banger tweets and bang average stories. Drop a wee follow. Thank you all very much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. It makes me so very happy and extremely grateful. I wish you all an amazing rest of your day or night. And until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.